We'll go ahead and start. Thank you.
Joe, welcome to Cincinnati, Wayne Miller Bengals Radio. Talk about how it felt to get that call that now you're officially a Cincinnati Bengal after much speculation.
Yeah, I was excited about it. You know, it's a dream come true to finally be picked, and to get to play so close to home. Me and my family couldn't be more excited about it.
Joe, how do you embrace the pressure, I guess, and the expectations that come with this selection and all the things that go with it?
You don't think about it. You just continue to work really, really hard and continue to do what got you here. You know, I'm not gonna, now that I'm the number one pick, doesn't mean anything in 4 months. So I'm gonna continue to work really, really hard to be the best player that I can be, for this team, for this franchise, for this city.
Joe, what's your best attribute, in your opinion, that you bring to the Cincinnati Bengals franchise at the quarterback position? What's your best attribute?
I think it's leadership. You know, I've always been really, really good at bringing everybody together to form a common goal. And, you know, I think my work ethic kind of permeates throughout the team. And I'm excited to get around all the guys and everybody within that building.
Joe, whenever the Bengals were talking to you throughout the process, is there something that they kept telling you that made you excited or had you looking forward to potentially coming to Cincinnati?
You know, I don't think anything specific, but every single conversation that I had with Coach Taylor and Callahan and Pitcher that we had was very, very positive, and it made me very excited to become a Cincinnati Bengal.
What's your overall impression of Zach Taylor?
Say again, sorry.
What's your overall impression of Zach Taylor?
I think I couldn't be more excited to work with him. I think he's an up and coming star in the league at that coaching position. And I think, you know, his philosophies on offense fit my game very, very well.
So,
Up to the draft.
you got a note from Mike Brown, I guess, and I was wondering if it was handwritten, and what did it say, and what did it mean to you?
It was typed out, and it means a lot. And he also wrote one to my mom and dad as well, and that kind of shows the kind of person that he is, and I'm excited to be his quarterback for hopefully a long time.
Joe, when we look at your journey from Ohio State redshirting and playing as a backup and then transferring to LSU, you went through so much adversity. What kept you going? What made you dig deep and continue to utilize the grit that you have, obviously?
Yeah, it was tough. You know, when you have all that failure for 3 years, it kind of weighs on your mind. But I just kept faith in the fact that I knew I was working really, really hard and improving every single day. And, you know, when I wasn't playing, I was in the weight room. I was staying after practice just to improve my game to get to the point where I am now. And I'm going to continue to do those things to the next level to continue to improve my game to become a better quarterback.
Joe, leading up to the draft and even now, have you gotten a sense of how popular you already are in Cincinnati?
I have, and I'm very excited to reciprocate that to the fans and to the city. You know, I think it's going to be a great relationship, and I think we're going to win a lot of football games, and that's going to make it a lot better.
Joe, talking to Coach White this week and then hearing what Coach O had to say just about your character and how you want to be the guy to build a championship team. You did it in high school, you did it at LSU. What is it about you, and how much of that drives your motivation to help lead and build a championship team here in Cincinnati?
You know, I'm not sure what it is about me. I just work really, really hard every day, and I think, you know, that probably rubs off on people. But I'm just myself, and I'm unapologetically myself, and I think that's a good thing, and I think people really respect that.
Have you heard how bad this city wants a winner? Like, you've mentioned the fan base. Have you just felt how bad they want a winner again?
Yes, I have. You know, I'm on social media just like all us young people, so I see it, and I'm hoping that, I don't want to say hope. I'm gonna work as hard as I can to bring winning to Cincinnati, and I know the people around me will as well. The culture that Coach Taylor is building, I'm very excited about it.
Are you getting a crash course in Bengals history from Ryan and Adam? I'm wondering what their reaction was that their lifelong buddy is going to be coming down here.
Yeah, they're excited. They make sure to tell me all their moves in free agency, everything that they were doing. So been kept up to date by them.
Joe, the cupboard's not bare. I mean, it's rare for a 2-14 football team to have one wide receiver. Didn't play last year, but he's got 6 1,000 yards receiving seasons. Another wide receiver, Tyler Boyd, has 2 1,000-yard receiving seasons, and Joe Mixon has 2 1,000-yard rushing seasons. I mean, the cupboard's not bare. So are you excited about the fact that you're going to be supported and surrounded by some pretty good players, even though it was only a 2-win team?
I am. And the thing about the NFL, there's good players everywhere. And, a couple injuries here or there can really, really change the season and change you from a playoff caliber team to a 2-14 team. So we have what it takes. I'm hoping that, I can be whatever they need me to do, I'm going to do it. Hopefully I can bring something to the team that is positive and brings about wins.
How was it for you tonight to be at home in Athens County rather than in a ballroom in Las Vegas for this special moment?
I think I was very excited about it. I kind of initially wanted to do something here in Athens anyway and not go to Vegas, but I was going to go to Vegas and walk across that stage, and it was going to be awesome. But, as soon as the pick came in, people were driving by the house, honking their horns, screaming out the window. So that's the kind of place that it is here. So it's been great to experience this with some of my closest acquaintances.
So if you were to critique yourself, what are the next steps that you feel like you need to take as a quarterback?
I'm going to continue to improve all parts of my game. Everything has to be a step faster in the NFL. And so I've been really working on faster footwork, faster release, stronger arm. Just the whole package has to become better when you get to this level.
Joe, when you gave your Heisman Trophy speech and what you said raised $500,000 for your community, how overwhelmed were you?
It was pretty overwhelming. It's tough when you're in the middle of the season to kind of think about it because you're so focused and dialed in on just winning football games. But after the season, and especially during this quarantine, I think it really hit me how many people that it has helped, because a lot of paychecks aren't coming in right now. And that food bank money and that food pantry money is helping a lot of families during this tough time.
Joe, this is a franchise that typically doesn't spend a whole lot in free agency. This offseason, they committed a lot of money in that department. What was your overall takeaway when you saw that?
I was very excited about it. I think it shows the direction that this franchise wants to head. I think it's going to be a winning franchise for years to come, and I hope to play a big part in it.
Hey, Joe, Zach Taylor was asked about your
Mark,
kind of swagger and the way you carry yourself.
Those 10 p.m. package bites in that folder.
He was asked about the kind of your swagger and the way you carry yourself, and he said, I wouldn't really describe it as swagger. I would describe it as confidence. What to you is the difference between those two words?
I think swagger is, it's something, but there's not really anything behind it. I think confidence has preparation behind it. And, there's a lot of false confidence out there that I think you could describe as swagger. And the reason that I am so confident is because I know the work that I put in. I know the preparation that I do before every single game and in the off season. And that's why I'm so confident in myself, is because, if you put that work, the amount of work that I put in, and you don't succeed on the field, I think something's wrong.
Duke Tobin said you love the grind. What you're talking about. He said the game's important to you. You love the grind. Is it the fact that you're, the son of a football coach? You've been around it all your life. Is that a big part of it?
It might be, but something that I've always been scared of is, there's the old saying, there's always someone out there that's getting up earlier and working harder. And so I've always tried to be that other person. When people say that, I tried to be the guy that they were talking about. So that's something that I've always really prided myself in.
So
what time do you get into the building?
Say again?
Let's see, what time do you get into the building?
At LSU, I would get there, 9:30 or 10. Wake up, make breakfast. You got a little time, and then get in there 9:30 or 10. Watch your film. I got my film study routine throughout the week. Every day something different. And then you're there until after practice until 7, 8, around then.
And when did Zach tell you were the guy?
I think you'll have to ask Coach Taylor about that one. I heard when the pick came in on the TV and when he called me right before.
You know, there's a difference between just putting hours in, you know, like getting there at 9 and leaving, whatever, but then having a plan, having a methodology to your preparation. Now, when did you start to put that together? I mean, when did the efficiency of the preparation take hold for you and turn you into the player you are?
Yeah, that's a really good point. You know, I think a lot of people, they say, "Oh, I spent 5 hours watching film yesterday." Okay, well, what are you watching? Were you watching, you know, the quarterback make a great throw? Like that's not how you watch film. So, you know, the key is being efficient with your time. And I really honed in on that this year. And I had a very structured routine. I had my Sunday routine, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So I had a very structured routine on how I watched film and prepared for the week.
You talked at the combine about not wanting to be presumptuous of being the number 1 overall pick, but this has really felt inevitable for a long time. Did you reach out to Sam? Did you tap into that friendship and try to get an idea of what the culture is like here, or just kind of feel things that way?
A little bit, not too much. You know, I don't think it was really my place. I was just working to prepare to be the best quarterback that I could be, and you know, whatever happened on draft day happened. But I couldn't be more excited about what happened tonight. I'm going to come in and be the best player that I can be, and try to help build a culture of winning here.
How much of a luxury do you feel that it is having 4 or 5 former teammates in the building?
Yeah, I'm very excited about it. You know, I love playing with all those guys. Unfortunately, I was just never able to see the field with any of them. So I'm very excited to do that. And then even some other guys have reached out to me already tonight and in the past couple of weeks to just kind of start building this relationship.
You know, Joe, this is a franchise and city that hasn't won a playoff game since '91. When you're coming in as the number 1 overall pick and as the quarterback, I mean, is that something you have to mentally adjust for? And how do you do that if that's the case?
No, you don't mentally adjust for it at all. You don't sacrifice your standards for anything. And I think going into a season and thinking, you know, our goal is to win a playoff game this year, I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's the right way to go about it. I think you go into the season saying we're going to work really, really hard and focus on one play and 1 week at a time, and we're going to win a lot of football games that way. And I think if you go in thinking, oh, this is the year we're going to make the playoffs, this is the year we're going to win a playoff game, it gets too daunting. So you just have to, I mean, it sounds corny, but you just got to focus on every single step of the process.
Right. And I was also kind of asking in terms of maybe there's a lot more pressure maybe for a number 1 pick here than maybe in other places because that success hasn't been here in so long. I mean, is that something that you thought about, and is that something that you have to adapt to perhaps, or no?
I mean, for me, it doesn't matter where you get picked. I could have been 189th pick. I could be number 1. I'm going to work the exact same and try to be the best quarterback I can be for this city.
At what point in the season last year, the record-setting season you had the greatest season any quarterback's ever had in college football history. Your team was unbelievable. At what point in time as you were going through your process did you think, ooh, we could be pretty good here?
As soon as we walked off the field my junior year after the bowl game, I knew exactly what was going to happen. You know, I knew the guys we had coming back. I knew the kind of people, more importantly, we had coming back. Great guys that just worked really, really hard and knew what it took to do what we wanted to do. And that was win a national title. And like I said before, we didn't focus on winning the national championship. We focused on dominating every single team that we played. And I think that was the key to our success.
If we talk to one player or any number of players from your LSU team and ask them what was the one key ingredient that made you the leader, what would they say?
You know, I think I'm fairly good at connecting with a lot of different people. You know, I'm a Southeast Ohio kid that hasn't, you know, I think my high school kind of prepared me for it a little bit. Yes. We're not super racially diverse, but we're very socioeconomically diverse. And so you get a lot of different kinds of people. And I think that allowed me to connect to a lot of different people. And that's really helped me when I was at Ohio State and going down to LSU. I've been able to connect with people from, rural Virginia, people from inner city Chicago, New Orleans, rural Louisiana. So I think that's something that I do very well.
Joe, I heard you on ESPN radio the other day talking about how the social distancing period could actually be advantageous for you because you haven't been flying all over the place and going from team to team. Can you elaborate on how you've tried to take advantage of what otherwise has been a difficult time?
Yeah, I've been, I think it really has been an advantage for me. I'm not missing any workouts because I'm flying. I'm not getting jet lagged. And I'm just really focused in on my routine, going to work every single day, throwing, lifting, running. And I've really changed my body the last few months. And I'm going to keep building it up for the season. The NFL is a physical game. And so I'm going to keep lifting weights, getting stronger, getting bigger, getting faster. And the last few weeks getting in this routine has really helped.
How have you changed your body?
Say again,
how has your body changed? How has your body changed?
I've gotten a lot. I've leaned out a lot the last few weeks, and it helps when you have money to buy the right kind of food. And that's one of the first things I'm going to do. I'm going to get a chef, so when I'm done with my workouts, I can come home, eat great food to fuel my body, and just relax. And so I think that's been key. My mom's been doing all that for me right now, so it's been awesome being home. But now the next step is to put more muscle on and gain some more weight before the year starts.
Joe, how do you think your teammates is going to help you in your NFL career? You have great success in high school, in multiple sports in high school. And then, Ohio State doesn't go the way you expected it might. You go to LSU and you have tremendous heights again, but you had to deal with some adversity in there. In the NFL, there's going to be ups and downs. How do you think that the path you've taken has prepared for you for what you're going to face here?
Yeah, and teams are picking at the top of the draft for a reason. I'm not going to sacrifice my standards of play, and I expect to go out and win every single football game, but you also have to be a little realistic. And I've gone through ups and downs, and I've been through it. And through the entire process, I've just kept working hard and kept faith in that preparation and that hard work to get me to this point. And that's exactly what I'm going to keep doing through the ups and downs this next year and in the years to follow.
So which teammates have reached out to you, Joe? What new teammates have reached out to you tonight? I know it's only been about 2 hours, but
so Joe Mixon messaged me, right as the draft was starting. Tyler Boyd, CJ, the tight end, reached out. Sam Hubbard, obviously, he reached out. And, I'm just excited. It feels like a great culture that's being built and great guys that I'll be with.
Joe, we asked Coach Taylor, he doesn't like the word swagger. So we asked him what he said about you, and he said, well, he has an earned confidence. What level of swagger would you describe yourself as having, and how has it grown over all the success you've had?
Yeah, I think it's just another term for confidence. And my confidence was really shaken after I left Ohio State. I didn't know if I could do it. I knew I'd put work in to do it, but I hadn't done it yet. So I wasn't quite sure. And then after the last few games of my junior season, when it really started to click for me, I knew exactly what I had to work on in the off season to really take my game to the next level. And that made me super confident in myself. And I also had great people around me, great players around me that I had total faith in, and great coaches as well. So that's why I was so confident in us and me.
Joe, another part of your Heisman speech that impressed me, I played in the offensive line. When you listed all your offensive linemen right away to start your speech, I thought, man, here's a quarterback that gets it a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. I think those guys are some of the most underappreciated people in not just football, but the entire sports world. And we had a lot of great guys on that offensive line that worked their tails off to protect me and let me throw the ball back there. And they know how much they mean to me. And I just wanted to let the world know the kind of work that they had put in for us.
Yeah. So this is a thrill of a lifetime kind of night. What's tomorrow look like?
That's a great question. I'll have to get with the PR people and see how many interviews I got to do, and then I assume I'm going to be watching the draft tomorrow night with my family again, see which one of my guys get picked.
You know, Joe,
Did you want
Jack just said, you know, he expects you to compete for the starting job as soon as you get into town. I mean, what's it like to hear your head coach say that, and how are you preparing already to to compete as soon as you get in here?
It's exactly how I expect to do it as well. You know, I'm going to come in and compete and try to be the best player that I can be. And I'm going to have to get mental reps in from, you know, missing these rookie mini camps and OTAs. I'm going to have to get in this playbook really hard and kind of go through the process of calling the plays in the huddle and getting really comfortable. And because, you know, the thing about being in the huddle, you have to be stern in your voice, because if you're in there, you know, wavering and wobbling and fumbling over words, all the guys are gonna be like, what is this guy doing in here, coach? Get him out, get somebody else in. So that's something that I'm going to be really focused on.
Back to
Did
your
you want number 9? Did you want number 9, or did you think about 10, or how did that come about that you're going to have 9?
I did think about 10 a little bit, but you know, I had some not so great memories of 10 the last time I wore it, and nine had some great ones, so I decided to stick with it.
Back to your O-line for a second. A couple of them were at the Senior Bowl. Got to meet a couple of your offensive linemen down there, and both of them looked me right in the eye and said, yeah, you know, Joe's a great guy. I mean, you'll love Joe. But let me tell you something. He's a cutthroat competitor, man. Joe's the toughest competitor we've been around. Is that fair? Is that a fair assessment of you and how you approach it?
I think so. And I'm excited to see where both of those guys go, because they're going to play for a lot of years in the NFL. Great dudes that are really, really smart. But as far as myself, yeah, I've always prided myself in my competitiveness, whether it's ping pong, video games, football, basketball, chess, doesn't matter. I'm going to win.
Joe, you've been in pressure situations before. Obviously, that's nothing that's strange to you. But is there a certain level of pressure that comes with being the top pick, the top pick in a draft?
Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. You know, I'm not going to focus on that. I'm going to focus on putting in the work every day to become the best player that I can be. I think the media loves to talk about pressure, and I think some guys let it get to them. But if I put in the work, I think that pressure is going to be mitigated.
You win the national championship. You win the Heisman. You're the first pick in the draft. Not a whole lot of guys have done that. Plus, you set the record for touchdown passes, touchdowns generated. I mean, do you think about that kind of stuff, or is it not time yet? When do you reflect upon how it's gone for you here recently?
Hopefully in 20 years after I retire. Haven't thought about it in months.
What was the genesis of the 740 shirt?
That's the area code of Southeast Ohio.
Whose idea was it?
It was mine. And then I signed with Nike, and they made some great custom stuff for me. And this was something that I was kind of wanted to represent. And, you know, we have some more things in the works the next couple of weeks as far as foundations go that I'm very excited about to help my hometown.
So where'd you get the idea?
I had some shirts that said it before, but not quite something that I really wanted to, you know, put on and show the world to. And then Nike came to me with this idea, and I loved it and wanted to wear it.
You know, Joe, what would it be if the Bengals were able to get a receiver, you know, either in the second or third round? I mean, how pivotal would that be? And is that something that you would appreciate and you'd like to see happen?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I think the more help you can get as a quarterback, the better. But at the same time, I don't know. I haven't been with the team yet, so I don't know the holes that need to be filled and the players that they're looking at. So I think that might more be a question for me next year when I've got a year under my belt and know everybody a little bit better.
Joe, have they asked you about any of your LSU teammates?
Hey guys,
Yeah,
pardon me. I'm gonna jump in here for a second. We're hitting the 25-minute mark, and I'm gonna cut this off in about 5 minutes. We want to be respectful of Joe's time. Thank you.
Yeah, you know, every team that's talked to me asks you about your teammates. I think the best way to find out about teammates is to ask players that have played with them. And I've played with some great guys that I would love to have on the team.
Joe, Andy Dalton is in a little bit of a unique situation right now. What are your thoughts? I mean, are you looking forward to catching up with Andy Dalton? Have you guys spoken? What do you think the future holds there between you two?
No, I don't know. I'm not sure. That's probably a question for Coach Taylor and Mr. Tobin and Andy. But either way, I'm going to continue to work to be the best player that I can be. And if I'm with Andy for a year, I think it would be a great learning experience. Somebody that's done it for a long time and has played at a high level. So I think either way it would be a great experience.
Joe, would you be more comfortable with the veteran quarterback in the room, or does that matter to you?
I'm going to make either situation work. If I'm all alone in there with some younger guys, I'm going to make it work. If I'm with Andy, I'm going to make that work too. I think I'm going to adapt to any situation that's thrown at me.
Joe, I just got a text from some Louisiana coworkers. They want to know if that's the chain Boozy got you.
Oh yeah, it is. Yes, it is.
When did he give that to you?
After the last game.
Okay. Does anybody else have any more questions?
Joe, we can't let you go. Now that you're coming to Cincy, you're going to be asked about Skyline a lot. I mean, are your thoughts about that going to change at all? Are you going to have to amend your taste now that you're officially coming here?
I haven't tried it in a long time. Maybe my tastes have changed. We'll have to find out. Maybe I'll try it here in the next few weeks.
What is your second favorite? What is your second favorite item at Gigi's? We know the Western Omelet, which was renamed for you.
I honestly have never got anything other than that.
Really?
That's the only thing I've got for the last 5 years.
How excited your girlfriend?
She's very excited. She's very excited. Yeah, we've been apart for a long time.
Joe, how often did you come to Cincinnati as a kid, or did you ever?
I would come to Reds games every now and then, but not too much. My dad being a coach, you didn't do a lot of other stuff. I was playing a lot of sports, so we were traveling a lot. We had a lot of baseball tournaments, AAU tournaments in Cincinnati, but other than that, we didn't come for like a weekend or anything like that.
What's your favorite video game?
Of all time or right now?
Sure, all time. I stumped you. Good.
You stumped me. Yeah. Maybe ask me that at the next press conference. I'll have to jog my memory a little bit.
Sure. What are you playing right now then?
I'm playing a little Rocket League right now.
Gotcha.
Occasional Call of Duty.
Okay, Joe, I can't thank you enough, and congratulations and welcome to the team. Thanks, everybody.
Yep. Thanks, guys. Look forward to working with everybody.
Joe. Thanks,
Joe.
Appreciate it, Joe.